Let's start with the basics. You have access to 4 different camera modes: TPS, FPS, Flycam and Cursor mode, which is my favorite. The controls are on the top left corner of the screen. Let's terraform a piece of land to get a flat surface. Left click to place a block and right click to remove a block. You already know the controls. I have a ton of ideas for super cool terraforming tools and features. They will be released in a future update. Once the land is flat, let's place some basements. They will be the root of the building. You can hold left click and drag the mouse to place a series of elements. If you snap elements one to another, they will be grouped, allowing you to move them all at once if you need to. But we will have a better look at this feature in a few minutes. So for now, let's undo that rotation with Ctrl Z, and we now have a base to build. Ardaya building system uses a feature I call anchors or snap points, which are the light bubbles that you see everywhere. They are used to snap elements together, and you can disable them by pressing the I key. Among the procedural elements that you can use, the beams are a quick way to measure distances. Click on the first snap point, aim at the second one, and release the mouse button. Instead of counting blocks or relying on coordinates, the beam will create a snap point at 1/3, halfway, and 2/3 of the beam. The procedural floor requires at least 3 snap points to be spawned. You can use more than 3, but things can become quite messy if you abuse the system. Aim at a snap point, click on it, and it will turn blue. It means that the floor will use that snap point. Click on 2 more snap points, then click on one that is already selected to validate the floor. Procedural walls requires 2 pillars to be spawned, so let's place a few pillars. Click on the first pillar, aim the second one, and release the mouse button. The wall will spawn automatically. The procedural pillar is another element that you can use. You can place it anywhere, not only on snap points. Click and hold, drag to the desired height, and release the mouse. You can read the height of the pillar in the HUD. It's time to build the roof. Like the floor, it uses snap points. Click on at least 3 snap points, and once again on one snap point you've already selected to validate. There is a bunch of materials that you can use to customize the floors, walls and roof. There are 440 items to give life to your creations: doors, windows, furnitures, weapons, tools, food, and a ton of decoration items. Windows and doors can be placed on walls, and they will cut the wall automatically. If you misplaced a window or door, you can adjust its position afterward. When in cursor mode, activate the selection tool by pressing Z. You can move, rotate and scale any item with precision by using this tool. To move, rotate or scale, you can drag and drop, but you can also edit the values directly inside the HUD. To switch between the location, rotation and scale modes, use the X, C and V keys. Press multiple times on each key to cycle between the different modes. You can select multiple items at once with Ctrl left click. If you hold the mouse, it will select every item you hover. And if you right click, it will select all the child elements. You can move or rotate the entire selection. You can undo with Ctrl Z and redo with Ctrl Y. To avoid building every house over and over again, I created a schematic export-import feature. First, locate the Export Schematic tool in the library under the Structural section. Place it in the world and the box appears. Everything inside the box gets highlighted in green and will be exported. Move the corners of the box or rotate the box with your mouse wheel. You can also scale the box up and down. If you want to exclude elements, just Ctrl-click them. Once you're happy with the selection, click in the slot bar or just press K. Save the file on your system with a JSON file extension. It's a file format that makes files easily readable. This file can be shared with your friends and with the community. Let's use the schematic import tool. Click in the world, locate your file on your hard drive, and the schematic will be loaded. You can use the mouse wheel to rotate the schematic, and when you click, the schematic is imported into your world. If you feel it's not the right place, select any element of the schematic, then press B as many times as necessary to reach the root element. Once you reach the root element, a notification will pop up to let you know. You can now use the precision placing tool, also known as the gizmo, to rotate or move the entire schematic. And as always, you can use Ctrl-Z if you did something wrong or just want to cancel the whole import. If you want to copy or paste anything, you don't even have to use the Schematic tool. Just select elements and press Ctrl-C to copy. If you need to delete an element, press R on your keyboard and click on the element. If you left-click, by default, it will try to remove the whole group and ask you to confirm. If you right-click, it will remove that element alone. If you want to remove a bunch of elements, select them and use Ctrl-X.